how do you put these analytics together in that storytelling way in a deck that like, you know, our C-levels will care about?
I think the data storytelling is so important, but
Yeah.
it's truly that you're trying to make things that maybe don't sound that sexy a little bit sexier so that people want to get excited about it and want to do something.
Honestly, though, like it doesn't matter if you are the CX leader or the, you know, marketing leader or the CEO. This is actually why it's so important to not lose touch with what's happening in your queues.
Yes.
Hey friends, welcome to Above the Fold podcast. I'm your host, Jess Servion. We're going to be talking about everything in your customer's journey. You're going to learn things about customer experience, brand experience, and marketing secrets that help you drive your brand success. So stay tuned, buckle up, and let's get into the episode.
Welcome back to another episode of Above the Fold podcast with me, Jess. This week, I am in Los Angeles and I am joined by Lisa Yarrow, who is head of CX at Everlane. Lisa, tell the audience like who you are, like just a little bit of your background.
Yeah. So I manage the customer experience team at Everlane, but I came from a retail background. So did all kinds of retail, visual merchandising, people leadership, hiring, opening stores, all of that. And then was doing that at Everlane until the pandemic. Things shut down. I was kind of forced to figure out something that wasn't in person, and that was customer experience for us. And so it was kind of an interesting journey. We were in a tough place CX-wise at the time. I think a lot of brands were kind of struggling to figure out what they were going to do during all of the COVID turmoil. And so anyways, I ended up loving it, and now I'm just staying in CX forever.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the like problem solving, and I feel like there were a lot of things that I'm like, why do we do it that way? That doesn't make any sense. Let's do something else. So that's kind of what brought me to CX.
How did you get into like what is your background before even just like the working piece of it? Like what did you go to school for? What were you interested in?
Well, it took me a very long time to graduate college, but
Same.
I did entrepreneurship. I was going to be a math teacher for a little bit, and I ended up graduating with a political science degree. I was going to be a public defender. So I guess the theme more or less is I like being around people and helping people. But yeah, a quick stint in a judicial internship made me realize that I had a bleeding heart, and that probably wasn't the best place for me to be in order to be helpful, but also manage my own self.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, I get that. Like, so, like you think you're going to do one thing and then you end up somewhere else. And then that is how we all end up in CX, my friends.
I don't think anybody, I mean, I didn't even know that this was like a realm that one could be in. I didn't really pay attention to customer experience. I knew there was customer service, like call centers and things like that, which did not sound fun to me.
Yeah.
But it's very different than that.
Totally. I also have like a very strong like retail background from like most of my career. And I agree with you. I mean, when I started in like retail, it was like, oh, I'm in customer service. Then I'm ending up in like visual merchandising, all these other things. Right. And then I was like, oh, I want to kind of like get an office job. Right. And then found myself into this in various ways. Right. Like doing all sorts of things that were like all kind of like the basis of what customer experience is today. And I remember working in tech before I was ever in e-commerce. And like, I was always applying for these roles that were like customer support manager, or on the other side of it, I was actually like product marketing. Like I like led product marketing teams. Right. And then I forget what year it was. I want to say about like 2017, 2018, we were like all starting to call it customer experience and like developing the philosophies of it, you know?
Yes.
I would love to like know from you, like, okay, transitioning from like retail into that customer experience, what was your like aha moment of like, oh, this is a fucking experience. And this isn't just like, I'm at a call center.
I thought that I invented the voice of the customer. I was like, what if we could listen to all these things that people are saying and then understand how rather than them reaching out to us, we can solve these things and we have all of these insights and we can share it with these teams. I thought I, discovered something amazing, and had people to humble me really quickly that that is a thing. And then I'm like, okay, well, then that's what I want to do. I want to be the voice of the customer. I want to do insights and talk about the customer journey and talk about that side of experience. I feel like sometimes, I think even within Everlane, we were seeing customer experience as synonymous with customer service.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I think that space, that's like the in-between part of the Venn diagram where I'm like, no, I want to do that part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's just like interesting. I agree with you. I do agree with you that there's always been like the voice of the customer stuff and like a sense of like marketing, right? But like, and there's always been, you know, understanding who your customer is, like product reviews, like all of these pieces. But then nobody really started listening. Nobody really started listening until more and more of us kind of like forged our pathway of what CX is and then started like developing out like those mechanisms.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? I mean, listen, I ain't gonna humble you because I think you're a queen. So like, what is your favorite tactic that you use today to like give the voice of the customer?
It has been such a journey to figure out how to best communicate things. And quite honestly, I don't think we're there yet. We try different ways all the time. I think that just listening to a lot of different things, managing the trends and simple things like conversation types, but also looking at like keywords that people are using. You're even just looking at trends in the way that you're spending money to do appeasements. So analyzing things in all these different ways, coming up with your hypotheses, but then being able to tell it in a story that makes people want to actually fix it. I think sometimes the sentiment can be something like, oh, well, are you worried that you don't have enough people to answer all of those questions that are coming in? And I'm like, yeah, I got it. I can answer all these questions. I'm trying to peel back to like a deeper layer, which is like, why do they feel that way? And we're getting all these free insights. How can we actually use that to do something better?
Yeah, it's like answer the questions before they become questions. That's like a common, like I wouldn't say common, it's just like very simple practice.
It's very simple, but I feel like it's still, people are like, wait, why are you trying to fix this? And so I think being able to just kind of tell that story, I guess that's to me the most successful tactic is like, however you want to pull your data, you got to make it into an exciting story and you got to really like sell it to people so that they want to do it. And so that's trial and error of getting people interested in actually doing something with it.
I know. I think that's like a really common question that I get often for or from like CX people coming up in the ranks, like going from that like associate to like leadership. It's always a common question of like, how do you put these analytics together in that storytelling way in a deck that like, you know, our C-levels will care about? And I think it's always an uphill battle because it varies. And coming from me, like I work across multiple different brands, so multiple different personalities. And some people care where like other people don't. Like, and I don't want to name like brands, but I'm going to tell you about these two personalities, okay? I have one brand who has to report to a board. So they like look at all of the data points that I say, and then they put them together and they're like doing like what they need to do for that, right?
Yeah.
And I don't actually have to tell them the story. As long as I'm collecting the data and the analytics, they're like, I'm going to go put it in a deck and like deal with it myself. And I'm like, okay, you go on with your bad self. But they're looking at it from like a volume perspective and not necessarily of like what's happening, right, to solve it. And then I have this other brand who I've worked with same amount of time, but they so deeply care about their customer and they deeply care about what their customer wants that the CEO is always asking, he's always like in it, like, oh, this person DM'd and they're having X issue, like, can you like go and handle it, you know?
Yeah.
I love those personalities, but it's like, we don't fucking have those across every brand.
Yes, for sure we don't. And I think it's trying to make the people in the first group lean closer that way and trying to inspire it. I think the data storytelling is so important, but it's truly that you're trying to make things that maybe don't sound that sexy a little bit sexier so that people want to get excited about it and want to do something. But it's hard if you're not innately one of those people who cares. Like I read conversations and I'm like, oh, I have to fix this for them. This is awful. I hate this experience for them. We need more people like that feel it in their heart that they want to make things better.
I know. As you're telling that story, I'm like even thinking to myself, like, how do you hire for the right people to care? It's a personality trait. It's like you either have it or you don't.
Yeah. I wish I had that answer. And that's one that I definitely don't have.
I know. It's trial and fucking error.
It really is. It really is. So yeah, good QA, good feedback loop.
I know. And you're like, I have no idea. And then it's also, I think too, well, one thing that I would add is like absolutely QA feedback loop, like giving that feedback that like to that individual, right?
Yeah.
But also recognizing if that person is right for your team or not. And that applies, it doesn't even just apply to CX teams, that applies to anything, any business.
Of course. Of course. Yeah.
Ooh, I've had some bad hires. How do you like, going back to data though, like how do you balance though? Like I'm just thinking to myself, because I'm so much of, I care a lot about analytics. I like deeply want to tag so many conversations, but then how do you balance QAing, training, getting the right feedback, and not like draining your CX personality at the same time?
I wish I knew.
I
wish I knew. No, I try to focus in on, what hill I want to die on this week, this month, and go there. But I think my best times that I'm having the most fun and I feel like I can be the most productive is when I can kind of micro obsess over one specific situation and then just do a deep dive. I'm like, okay, I feel like this is a theme and sentiment that we haven't really dived into yet. I'm gonna just dive in and start reading conversations and trying to see what people are seeing and kind of build that story. And I'll even get in the weeds where I'm like, what happens after that? Like, did that experience happen 2 years ago and that customer never came back? Like, I want to,
because you don't know, like you
know. And that stuff, like, I wish we had better tools to track all of that. But like, sometimes it truly is like, I'm like, okay, I read through 50 of these conversations. These people aren't coming back after that happens. How much would it have cost us to actually fix something earlier on? But it's truly one of those things where like, since we don't have great tooling for that, it's truly just like diving in, reading things, putting things in a sheet
But I mean, like, truthfully though, like it doesn't matter if you are the CX leader or the, marketing leader or the CEO. This is actually why it's so important to not lose touch with what's happening in your queues.
Yes.
Going back to that brand that I was talking about, that like they really care. One of the things that they really like doing, and this is a very like RX bar encoded thing too. That's not the brand, but it's like, I worked with a lot of people that were at RX and like they did this where every person spends 2 weeks in the queues. And so that's this brand that I work with, like they don't really have 2 weeks because it's kind of hard. Like you got to like get up and running, right? But the CEO cares so much that he's like, anybody, if you're supply chain, if you are, even the chief of staff, right? Like or even like the EAs, they get into the queues and they're taking tickets at least for a few hours to go through what the CX process is. Because if they don't, then anything you're building at your brand, anything you're doing, you're just building it for your department. You're just building it for the sake of revenue, but you're not building it for the customer.
Yes.
And you never learn that,
I would love to have that. I think that would be amazing to have at every brand. And even if it's just shadowing somebody and watching, I try to use as many quotes from conversations as I can in things because I think you can have somebody explain an issue, but when you're hearing an actual like voice of a customer talking about how frustrated they are, I think it's much more visceral. So we don't do that, but I've been a big fan of, we've been doing a couple things. One of the gal on my team that manages voice of customer has been doing these really cool moderated interviews. Cool. So it's in a video. We're having a customer go through a specific aspect of the customer journey. And then we get these videos where you see them and you see where they get stuck on the site, or you see where they're like, oh, I thought that was this. I'm confused. And it clicks when you see a video of someone doing it.
Yes.
I feel like that's more, you can look at a funnel analysis, but you can also see a customer talking through like, oh, why did that happen? That's weird. Or how come when I click there, that didn't work the way that I wanted it to?
Yeah.
So big fan of that.
Yeah.
To show it, if
Yeah.
you're not going to get in the feeds, you can at least see, you can read quotes and see videos of people experiencing
And understand the
things.
user experience. I think that's also a common misconception too. I think people are starting to pick up on it now, but I think before, a common misconception is that UX isn't a part of CX.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Like, I mean, and I
It's
made
the X.
literally, right? Because like think about it, like our retail background, even, right? Like let's not even take a digital storefront, right? Retail traditionally, before e-commerce was ever like a huge jam, right? Retail, the way a store is planned and the mannequins and everything is like you're taking a customer on that journey through your store to go purchase the things.
Yes.
Right? Like there's end caps, or what are they called at the cash register? It's not end caps, but you know what I'm talking about? The like I know I'm really channeling this old time in our brains, but you know what I mean? Like when you go to like a cash register and there's like
there's
the
all these
small
little
minis
zones
and
and
stuff. Yeah. That is like a merchandise plan, right?
Yes.
And I think that like in e-commerce, we've gotten so far away from realizing like that is a part of fucking consumer, is not to be like consumerism in the negative way, but like consumerism, like, and people purchasing, we go to stores and we purchase things at a store, right? And then e-commerce comes, you have to you have to merchandise your store for people to understand it. If you want to upsell them, you want them to put them in this cart or whatever it is, make it fucking seamless.
Yeah.
Don't make more tickets for your customer support team.
I mean, yes, yes. And it's also that it's not one size fits all. I think just the same way that different retail stores are built different ways for a different experience. You know, there's Target and there's Buck Mason. There's different experiences that you spend in a physical space. So it's the same for your site. You have to really customize it to like the way that you want your customer to move through that journey.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I still can't think of the word that you're talking about, but like the end part where you're about to pay at Sephora, it's like my favorite part.
Literally, I was thinking about that in my head. I was like, what minis can I buy?
What minis am I going to buy at the end that I didn't even know that I wanted or needed, but like I look forward to that. And to me, that's not an annoying thing. I think the comparable thing is like, wait, did you check this? Do you want to add this to your cart? But like make it fun and exciting, because maybe I do want those things, but also don't annoy me with the things that I don't want,
right? Or make it easy for you to find them.
Yeah.
I mean, because at the end of the day, like those upsells and like those bundles and like those additional add-ons, they create like an emotional resonance for the consumer to like be like, oh, you're right. I did need that extra t-shirt or that mini bottle of Summer Fridays jet lag hydration mist.
Yes. Yes.
That I like use every time I like travel now, because I got that at Sephora in that lane, you know? But like, I just think it's so interesting. I think it's really interesting how I know we've been in this e-commerce world for so long, like in the sense of like, you know, we've shifted the overall consumer behavior, but as two girly pops who come from like that retail of like buying and selling, right? It wasn't always like this, that you immediately go online to go purchase something.
Yeah.
And you got to think about it in like your customer experience in like those ways.
Yes.
Speaking of which, I actually want to come back to this about like your retail experience, because I know you spend a lot of time at Madewell, but you also spend time at Urban Outfitters too, right?
Completely opposite customer experience.
I know that. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that because Madewell is very like, I wouldn't say proper, but I would say it's like, I don't know how to describe it. Like you obviously worked with that brand more like than I never did, right? Like, and I'm not even a shopper of that brand, but I definitely have purchased from Urban Outfitters, like young, still do, even at 40. Don't judge me. But I'm just curious about like, what was the difference in those demographics for you?
I mean, and Urban Outfitters has evolved a lot since I was working there, but it was truly like, pilot high, watch it fly. You just got to like make everything available and people will figure their stuff out. Like you just have to like set it up for the customer. Madewell was very thoughtful about the customer service, customer experience. We were your friend to hang out with. Like people would come in just to talk to us, even if they were like, yeah, I have no money. I cannot be shopping, but I just want to like look at pretty things and hang out with some cool people.
Wow.
And that was part of this, I don't want to make it sound gross, like that's how we were selling to people, but like if you want to go into a store 5 times and hang out with people and the 6th time you'll buy something, like cool. You're
Yeah.
going to go to, when you do have the money, you're going to go buy from the people that you like hanging out with.
Yeah.
So it was all about the experience at Madewell, whereas Urban, you just had to like have it available and people are going to do what they want to
So
do with
crazy.
it. So,
Yeah.
and it was so different. I think like back in the day when I was at Urban Outfitters, I'm also 40. So this was like in my youth. It was
In my younger years.
my younger years. No, it was like aspirational. It was like a way
Yeah.
to feel cool, especially, you know, there were people who would come from out of town who didn't have access to cool different things. And
Yeah. The
you can get
original
that
hipster
there.
store.
The original hipster store.
Do you remember when like Urban Outfitters sold like Crosleys and vinyls? I don't know if they still do, but
I'm
like
sure they still do.
yeah, but like it was like a thing. Remember like that era, right? Like
Yeah.
the owl necklace era.
I had so many owl necklaces,
Yeah.
so many headbands, all of the, but it was cool and you didn't really need to do anything to sell it. I think that Madewell is kind of more similar to Everlane where like you can buy jeans and a t-shirt anywhere,
Mhm.
right? Like you can literally buy those things anywhere, but it's something that's like that little je ne sais quoi that's a little bit better. It's slightly toward the vibe more, so it's a little bit subtle differentiation in product. But it's that you want to be part of this community.
Yeah.
And I know that you're back. We're talking about the retail space, but I think that the same goes in e-com.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, you have to sell, you know, like people are buying things and selling things, but sometimes you can also just like build a relationship with a customer that's not a transactional relationship.
Yeah.
People might reach out and they might say like, this is a vacation that I'm going on. And sure, you can give them suggestions, but you're also like, oh my gosh, you're going to have so much fun. Like talk to them about something else too that's not just the product, because that's where they're going to want to come back to. They're going to
Yeah.
want to go where they feel like they're buying into this.
Where they're buying into
lifestyle.
community and loyalty and like
Yeah.
that piece. Yeah. I mean, this is like absolutely like what e-commerce is, right? And this is like what we talk about even in like customer experience and retention, like in the digital scape. It's like you want people to feel something, right?
Yeah.
You know, we just had Tess on from Dr. Squatch and we were talking about her brand's like personality, and it's like really fun and cheeky, and every brand has to have a personality, and it also has to exemplify that. And maybe you
Yes.
have to do a little bit harder because like in retail, it's like I can physically touch something,
Yes.
but now you have to like communicate it.
Yes. And that's hard.
It's so hard.
Yeah. And at Everlane, like we're subtle. We're so amazing at sustainability. We love talking about it, but like, how do you talk about it to customers in a way that's not annoying and pushy and making people feel like, why are you telling me so much about this? It's like,
Yeah.
because we like it and we're nerding out and we're excited about it.
Yeah.
But how do you build that out? I think brands like Dr. Squatch and like I think like Tushy, there's like so
I was
many
just gonna
fun
say-
brands.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I worked somewhere that you could really go all out
Yeah.
with
I
your
know.
voice.
I actually had Tushy, I had Ren from Tushy on the podcast. And I was never astonished by their voice by any means, because I like recognize their voice and like know their voice, right?
Yeah.
But recently, dude, I don't even know what it was. I saw, because I'm helping this brand launch right now. And so like I'm actually, I flip between like fractional CXO or fractional CMO. So I like flip between like the customer experience or the marketing side.
Yeah.
And for this brand in particular, I'm on the marketing side. So I'm like thinking about campaigns. I'm thinking about how to like bring it to market in like those senses. And I sent the founder, who's my homie, so like I can have like a cheeky like convo with him.
Cheeky.
Cheeky. And I sent him Tushy's campaign, and it was talking all about like your butthole.
Yeah.
But like using like anal, you know, and talking about like anal at like the, all of those things, right? But I was just like, fuck, man, this is so on brand for them. This is so, and like they can do it just like Dr. Squatch can do the Sydney Sweeney thing, right? Like they can do it, or they can do a collab with Star Wars. Like they could do whatever, right?
Yes.
But the same thing for Everlane. Everlane's voice can do whatever they want in that space of sustainability too. And those, you know, like plainer colors, I would say.
Much plainer colors. And also I don't know, we're so limited because you have to be really careful in sustainability. You can't overstate things. You have to be very careful about the words that you use, because what you really don't want to do is overstate anything or exaggerate anything. So you have to be really thoughtful with, I mean, people say like green, like what is that? What does that mean? You could buy a green shirt and that's the color of you have to be really thoughtful and careful with the way that you speak about things. And I think I love how intentional we are about it, because we care so much and it's so important to call things what they are, that you have to be a lot more careful. Whereas you're talking about how to wipe your butt.
I know.
Or not wipe your butt, I guess more accurately.
Yeah.
I love how silly they are to kind of disarm you so that you actually do feel comfortable talking about that with their CX team.
Yeah. I mean, when the episode's not out yet, but I'll definitely send it to you, because like we were talking about it, like, you know, wiping your butt in like a sustainable way too, right? Like, because the whole purpose of a bidet is to not use toilet paper, and toilet paper, like the chemicals in our toilet paper is actually like really bad. It's like bleached. It's like you shouldn't be. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So on that note, though, I am curious, how do you approach building the brand voice then for Everlane? And like, if you work, I don't actually know your team structure. Let's back up. What is your team structure? How big is your team right now?
I feel like we're tiny. There's 28 of us total, 7 that are like my core, kind of more leading and specializing in building things out. And then we have 21 that are more like frontline teammates. And so, and I'll be honest, I think there's still a lot of opportunity. I think our voice is, I wish we could have more fun.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to like slowly dial that up in a really careful way. But yeah, I think for us, it's about just being supportive and helpful and real and understanding. And so we're not as playful as a lot of other brands. And that some of that is by design. Some of that is because it's just so hard to like get to that fun spot. We just try to be helpful and make it easy.
Yeah.
It's not that exciting.
I mean, it is exciting in a way because it is loyal to the brand though, right? Like Everlane is not going to be like, hey guys, let's talk about what goes around your butt. You know what I mean? Like,
and I, as much as I say I love Tushy, I'm a little thankful that I don't have to go that far, but also I would be so good at writing all those puns.
Yeah.
So I absolutely could do that.
So you're like, hello, Everlane, let's talk a little, okay?
Yeah, I think we find our voice and it's the right one. I think between my 3 main brands that I've been with, they're all very different voices and different experiences. And I think each one does a great job within that space of knowing their own voice and knowing their customer. I think that's something that we talk about a lot as like who does shop at Everlane. And we really do have to know who they are and understand that that's how we approach those customers. We do have a good sense of who our customers are. And so I do think that we do a good job talking to the people who love us.
Yeah. How are you like acquiring some of that feedback? Like what channels do you do it in? Like just product reviews, NPS? Like what are your channels?
Yeah. So product reviews we are close to, but we don't directly manage it, but we stay close to product reviews. NPS is huge. CSAT is huge. And then we're also kind of diving into different levels of brand health and serving that way. And then sometimes it's just like one-off user experience testing where like we're
which I
those
love,
ones.
yeah.
Some of them are not even with our existing customers. It's like
they shouldn't be
potential customers that we just want to watch and see. Do you get it? Do you go to the site and you understand who we are?
Yeah.
But I think that NPS and CSAT are what we use the most, which both are helpful to a degree. I do feel like there's still something else out there that we need to best triangulate what people are actually feeling out there.
Yeah. Well, you know that tactic of like doing those calls like that's actually really underrated. Like I don't see a lot of brands do that. At Feastables, we definitely did it when we went through a rebrand, right? But we didn't do that initially. Yeah. And then fun fact, I don't know if you know this, but children don't like dark chocolate.
I did know that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
You don't need to do that much market research for that.
right.
You just have to have kids.
Right. But we probably should have, is the point. Okay.
Yes. So you're like, why is this product not doing well?
Yeah.
You're
I
like,
mean, trust me,
kids hate it.
It did great, but like there was just so much feedback on taste, right? Yeah. And so the biggest thing that I learned there is exactly what you guys are practicing about, like going out and doing those like research pods, even if it's somebody who's not even buying from you, right? Like, because that's how you create like an environment that's like not biased, right? And you get like solid feedback. The only other places that I normally see it happen is when I'm working on a brand strategy client or like a fractional, like when I'm doing one of my fractional CMO ones, because obviously like, okay, well, I learned that from Feastables, and I've learned it from user groups, working in SaaS. So I apply those techniques, but it is such a fucking underrated tactic that not enough brands fucking do.
Yeah. Well, it takes a lot of time and energy and money. Like it's not easy, and you have to go out of your way to do it. And oftentimes the reason we do it is if we are doing a bigger campaign, a bigger kind of brand, like a fresher approach to a brand directive, something like that. But we should be doing it all the time.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I was about to ask you how many SKUs do you have, but don't even tell me.
Good, because I don't know the number.
It's a lot. It's apparel. Apparel is like, apparel's like skincare, right? Like it's like, well, I wouldn't say all skincare, but I would say like a lot of beauty brands end up like over time, you just start adding and adding and adding. But apparel, t-shirts, jeans, socks, like all.
I think we're really good about being thoughtful.
Oh,
we're adding, but we're removing.
Yeah.
Much like an actual closet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good amount of SKUs. We have a lot of things, but we're always listening.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, do you guys like approach like product innovation? Like, I mean, I'm sure taking feedback, but like seasonality, I guess.
Seasonality, product feedback. We're looking at what other brands in the market are doing. But it's also like sometimes it's looking at ourselves, right? We're the target customer also. What are we shopping for? What do we like in other brands? It's an art.
Yeah.
Figuring out what that balance is.
Yeah.
And once you figured it out and it's successful, it's a different rule book the next year.
It's always different. Every year is a different fucking playbook, especially in apparel. Like, are you kidding? You know?
Yes. It's always changing, even though we are focusing on like really good classic pieces that are going to stay with you for a very, very long time. It still changes all the time.
I mean, it's funny you say that because I actually have 3 Everlane shirts that I packed for this trip that I probably have had them each for 2 years now. One's like a classic black, one's like my favorite white tee, and then one's like a striped shirt, but like so classic, you know?
Yes.
I actually almost wore it, but I didn't like think about it. I don't know. I was just like, no, I'm gonna wear a blue button up today. But with that, I got makeup on. But yeah, no, I mean, exactly though, right? It's not fast fashion.
Yeah.
It's pieces that you can constantly use. And my favorite thing about my Everlane t-shirts is that, because you know when you get like cotton, like you throw it into the dryer and it starts like,
yeah, you're not precious with it.
Yeah, but one of the things that I do love is when I am precious with it and I do like iron out any of like the wrinkles and stuff. Mm-hmm. That white shirt is looking fly.
I
okay?
love that.
We love it. It's one of my favorite. It's my favorite white shirt that I always have.
That is such a high compliment because I feel like your basic white tee is such an important piece in your closet.
Dude, so that's my go-to one. Like, trust me, like I'm a t-shirt girly, okay? Like I'm going to admit this at 40, but I do shop at Abercrombie. My jeans are from Abercrombie. I buy a lot of jeans from Abercrombie, and like I have bought a lot of like t-shirts from them too. And I have like some favorite like graphic tees, but the plain ones, I don't love them as much. My Madewell plain ones, too big. I feel like I'm like swimming in the crop tee. My Everlane, 2 years, and I've lost a lot of weight in those 2 years. She's bumping.
I love that. Also, the good thing is you don't have to be embarrassed when people ask you where it's from. I buy my certain things sometimes, and people are like, "Where'd you get that?" I'm like, "It's a Bezos. I don't want to talk about it."
I know.
So, yeah, nice to have something that you love and also you're not ashamed of or feel guilty about. Yeah. But, you know, I don't think you would have bought that from Abercrombie 5 years ago. So it shows that
Yeah.
what they're
Man,
maybe 5 years ago.
Abercrombie
I don't
has
know.
made
Definitely not 10 years ago.
absolutely not.
No.
Are you kidding me? I like my thigh fit into like things at Abercrombie.
Yes.
Okay.
No, but they did market research. They
Oh,
listened to their
yeah.
customers, I'm sure. I have no idea what they did behind the scenes, but we can tell from looking at the brand outside that they did a lot.
No, I think that they've come a really, really long way. I think I forget her name. I want to say I don't want to quote the name because I completely forget. They brought in a new CMO who's phenomenal. Like she's so phenomenal. She really turned that brand around
Oh, yeah.
in a different direction, but like also like obviously with like all the controversy of Abercrombie and like the C level, she turned that brand around, but she also made it really inclusive. The one thing, like they absolutely have listened to their customer. I think they've gotten like come back to it. They've really have like gotten into that Y2K trend, like Hollister. I'm not naming the other brand right now who's in hot water, but let's just leave it at Hollister and Abercrombie. Have really, dived deep into that Y2K and then like have in the created like inclusivity, which I love because remember when we were growing up, those brands, like you would walk by, like I never shopped at those brands.
No.
You would catch me at Hot Topic or PacSun
Or Urban Outfitters.
or Urban Outfitters.
Yeah.
Actually, when I didn't have an Urban Outfitters until I was in my 20s, but like I'm talking like my teen years, like that core. Yeah, I never shopped at Hollister. I never shopped at Abercrombie. Like even being a kid then, like I felt like I was too big for those places.
Well, they had like models.
I know.
Remember they had like the guys with no shirt in front of the store?
And drown you in the cologne.
Yeah.
Headache instantly,
No.
Totally dogging on these brands. I actually want to ask you this one question. So what's one brand in your opinion do you think is like doing dope things around loyalty right now?
Ooh.
And it can be anything.
I know. And it's so boring because I feel like I like all the same brands that everybody else likes in this space. I guess maybe this isn't like loyalty, but in ways that get people excited about things is I feel like the most exciting thing for me is exclusive products that are available. Like if a brand is like, hey, we're doing this random bag charm.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't need anything else from you, but I'm going to figure out how to put together a cart of $150 because I want this like random limited edition bag charm.
Yeah. Is it a Labubu?
I am resisting so hard, but I am not hating on that because I feel like everybody needs a little bit of joy in their lives these days. And if that's a Labubu with a little matching outfit, like go for it.
Yeah.
For me, that's a ridiculous bag charm that I really don't need, but like I'm being so thoughtful with how I spend my money. And so I think as a consumer, anytime something is like whimsical and also limited or exclusive, like that will get me to open up my wallet.
I mean, absolutely. Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be a loyalty program. It could be,
Yeah.
that's like the little merit little bags that they have, things
Oh,
like that, where I'm like,
yeah.
ooh,
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah. Oh man, I will tell you the only thing that I'm loyal to these days is nothing to do with e-commerce, United Airlines and Marriott. And I know, listen, like I know how cheesy to talk about like hospitality, okay? But the reason I say that is because, okay, well here's how they hook you. Let me tell you two stories of this, okay? So I used to be on American Airlines and I was whatever status. And then I did a shift over to United or whatever. And I did like a status challenge thing. And then I got this challenge or like, so now I'm at like whatever that matched tier of was with, wait, I'm sorry. I said United. I used to be with American, switch over to United. But now this is how United hooks me because you have to earn these like PQPs. I don't know, I don't actually know what that acronym stands for. It's like, but it has to do with like miles.
Okay.
So it's like, I don't get all the miles that I fly. I only get a percentage of them. And I have to earn so many PQPs in order to qualify for the status the next year. So my ass, every flight that I possibly can take, and I'm on the road a lot, okay? I am constantly like going and booking those flights on United or any United like, affiliations, right? And I am literally always looking at the app and trying to calculate how many trips I need to match. It is like this crazy addiction, but it brings something in me that it's like, I need the same thing that you're describing of like, I'm going to figure out how to like get this $150 cart.
Yeah.
I am going to figure out how to make sure I have the status next year.
That is so impressive that they can gamify it enough to make you actually want to travel more.
Literally, this is the most meta thing. I'm flying to LA today and I'm booking a flight in flight. But I mean, like I had to like book it, you know, like I was going somewhere, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I am so in it,
You
right?
have to win the the United game to make sure. I mean, but if the perks are good enough,
Yeah, I will say they are kind of good. I will
make
say
it worth
though,
it.
like, so the story of like two tails, right? Like, so the Marriott one makes it so easy to gain it. I'm like the highest here. I'm ambassador. Every time I like stay at a hotel, they're like, you want to late check out, whatever you need, free water. I always have like a guaranteed room no matter what time I'm coming in. It's like so awesome, right? But it's so easy. It's like dollar for point, right? So it's like so easy for me to get it. But United is literally like, hey, lady, do you want to go spend hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get this measly tier? You know? And I'm like, absolutely.
both worked.
I know. So, but psychologically, it's so crazy, right?
It is, but we all play that game. We all
Yeah.
aspire. For me, it's VIB Rouge or like you
Yes.
just
Ugh.
it's whatever loyalty program they can speak to the thing that's going to make you actually change your behavior.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's the magic.
I mean, this is the name of the game in
the
e-commerce.
name of the game.
You know?
we don't
guess
even
what?
have a loyalty program
Well,
yet.
that kind of tracks.
Yet.
Okay, I love that. I'm trying to gain my white teas, you know, and like
Yeah.
get points for
Like
it.
double points for white teas.
Dude, yes. I will say Abercrombie also has a really good loyalty program. I don't like get like a ton of money off, but
Mhm.
like when I like, you know, because you're buying like $80, $90 pair of jeans or whatever, like the inflation prices are. And for me, like I'm constantly like fluctuating in like weight because I'm on a journey. Okay. Let's just leave it at that. So I'm like, I actually do have to like buy jeans like almost probably like every 30 days, or not, I'm sorry, every 90 days ish. Like
Okay.
it just feels like that's my trend lately in the last year. So it's actually really nice that like if I'm spending $80, $90 on a pair of jeans that I really liked, but I can't enjoy them anymore, then I'm able to, from that previous purchase, able to use those points for my new purchase, you know?
Yes.
And it's not about gamifying it. It's just like, I feel like if I am loyal to you, I like actually get a worthwhile thing.
Yeah.
Unlike United with their PQPs. We don't even know what that means.
We don't even know what that means, but we're booking more flights. Because
Girl,
we want to find out.
take my credit card away. Lisa, guess what?
What?
We are at the end of the road.
Oh my gosh, that was really fast.
I told you. But I want to say I'm so excited for all the things that you're going to do at Everlane. And I think you're a really dope human. And I love your retail background and how you're applying that into e-commerce because underrated tactics, man.
Underrated tactics. I will say that what I love is what a uniting community, like you're building community. I'm so glad to be in your, I don't know, satellite?
The sisterhood of traveling CX.
Sisterhood of traveling
This is
CX.
our
Am I allowed
secret-
to say that? The
Yeah.
secret society.
This is literally our secret society. Then it's our group chat. And I think we're up to like 30 people at this point. But if you are a girly pop and you got good vibes, call a girl.
We've got girls.
We got girls that'll help. Tell the audience where they can find you.
Oh my gosh. I'm not out there very much, but you can find me on LinkedIn. And you can also, you can find me on LinkedIn.
Great.
Lisa Yarrow. That's me.
Well, thanks so much for joining. And
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Above the Fold. And we'll see you next week.
Dang, we've made it to the end of the podcast and you're still here. So thank you so much for listening to Above the Fold podcast. For the best of this episode and every episode, be sure to follow us on Instagram and my YouTube channel. And for deeper dives on the secrets to brand success, don't forget to subscribe to my weekly newsletter, Sunday Postcards. All right, my dudes, and gals. See you next week.